Epic Comicast, top 10 worst superhero movie portrayals.
Number 10.
You'll fight me? You'll fight me now? On behalf of the fine people of New York City and real rhinos everywhere, I ask you to put your mechanized paws in the air. Never! I just so I kill you.
As you heard from the clip, we are starting out with Rhino himself. Now, granted, he was only in the movie for like approximately 5 minutes, but he was so bad that we had to put him on this list.
Yeah, that's a big achievement to make this list, and he was only in the movie for, what, 2 minutes?
So congrats, Rhino.
Congratulations, Paul Giamatti.
Now, why was he so bad? Why was this terrible?
Where do I start?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. He was a caricature of a Russian guy trying to be Rhino. We see him in the beginning.
He was speaking some weird dialect language that you couldn't even understand.
Oh, man. And the sad thing is Paul Giamatti is such a good actor. And I feel like he was just given such wrong direction on how to act. He's acting
like a complete buffoon. Yeah. And he's in this like Rhino mecha suit, which... Well, first of all, fans didn't want to see this huge mecha suit. I would have, preferred to see the what's it called, cross-species Rhino, where similar to like the animated series and the comic books.
Yeah.
But this is what they gave us, and congratulations, Rhino, you made our countdown, and you just, this is a recent movie.
Yeah, I know.
It hasn't even been in existence for years and years.
I know, and we have people on this list, movies that were like 1980s, 1990s, right?
Yeah, do you think this falls on Paul Giamatti, or do you think this falls on
I think
the character that he's playing, or they gave him?
It was like a combination of like
it's Paul Giamatti's fault for taking this role.
Yeah, it was a combination of bad acting, where I don't know, I didn't want to see it go like the mechanical route. He was not given that much screen time. He wasn't even explained at all. And then at the end, he's just like, "I'm Rhino."
And the fact that they teased the shit out of us in the teaser, they showed us
he was on the fucking movie posters.
Like, they showed Spider-Man like sling that sewer main with his web, and then that's the last scene of the movie. Really,
he should not have been on the movie posters. They had those. They had Electro, they had the Goblin, and then they had Rhino on the movie posters. I was like, dude, is this another Spider-Man 3? What are you thinking? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I hope they just completely scrap the idea of Rhino, even though I know they won't.
I hope he does not come back. I hope we never see Paul Giamatti again.
Do they still have plans of the Sinister Six movie?
I think they do, yeah.
Because they did show the Vulture's wings. They showed Dr. Octopus's, his gear, his arms.
They need something else. He can't come back.
They have to bring him back if they're going to make another movie.
I don't think Paul Giamatti would come back.
Why?
Considering the reaction he got. He probably was just like, oh man, no. Please, no, don't put me back in that suit.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they might improve on the suit. Maybe they might... Maybe that was just like a first step.
Or you know what? Maybe he comes back and he's just like, all right, I'm not listening to any of you guys. I'm going to do my own thing because your guys' advice was horrible.
He's like, if I'm getting in that suit, this movie, I'm not doing this shit.
Yeah.
So.
But you can't, I don't know. But yeah, I'm so sorry, Paul Giamatti. I love you, but you are number 10.
Number 9.
Okay. People are dead.
If you didn't have that mouth on you, Wade, you'd be the perfect soldier.
Now, that clip might be very confusing, but I want you guys to understand that we are talking about Ryan Reynolds as a Deadpool after the experiments were taking place.
The second half of Deadpool.
Yeah, basically the second half of X-Men
Because
Origins.
we can both agree that the first half, Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. He's perfect Deadpool.
He's perfect. Everything about Ryan Reynolds in this movie, before, all of that shit happens, he is perfect. He's the person who I want to play Deadpool, even with Green Lantern under his belt.
Yeah, and he's hilarious in the elevator. Like, he's like, oh, there's 5 guys in the elevator and on a high-protein diet. And he's just being Deadpool and cracking jokes. And, the scene where he comes out, he's like, Wade, you're up. And he's like, he steps up. And he comes in and, like, slashes everybody up. And at the end, he's like, okay. Like,
everyone's dead.
People are dead. Like,
yeah.
Funny ass, he plays it perfectly. And the fact that they took away the one thing that makes Deadpool Deadpool, they took away his mouth. He's a merc with the mouth. And this is just Really
Why did they do
disappointing.
that? Why? What was the purpose?
This was the theory. They were experimenting on mutants, and they wanted to combine a bunch of different powers into one mutant, which they're going to call Weapon 11.
Mm-hmm.
And so at the end, we get this weird Baraka pool looking Deadpool where he's got the long blades in his arms like Baraka. He's got Cyclops's his laser vision, or not his laser vision, but his eye beams. He's got the teleportation, who they got from the Will.i.am character in that movie, which I forget who he plays. Yeah. But anyway, that's what they were trying to do with the character, but they just totally...
They fucked it. They made it into a huge mess. Basically, he was just a mess at the end. So he is on this list because he started out so freaking promising. We saw him, we were just like, yes. And then towards the end, we were just like, what?
Yeah,
what are you doing?
That's not the Deadpool that we wanted. We wanted the first half Deadpool. We wanted, the funny Deadpool, which actually, we wanted the Deadpool that we got in the...
trailer.
In the test footage.
Yeah.
Have you seen the...
the test footage, yeah.
The not animated, the CG test footage. That's the Deadpool we want. And that's the Deadpool that Ryan Reynolds could have done.
Yeah.
But no, we got the monstrosity, which was Barakapool.
Yeah. And you know what? There will be another character on this list who is only on here because of what happened in the middle of the movie and changed the outcome of the character.
Why are you giving teasers right now?
I'm sorry. Anyways, I'm sorry, Ryan Reynolds, but you are on this list for...
It's not really your fault.
No, it's not your fault.
Ryan, it's not your fault at all.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Enough.
Number 8.
I have to do something about this scar. Make sure they only shoot me from my left side.
Actually, the scar's tracking well. People seem to think it humanizes you.
And that's a good thing?
Now, this one sort of hurts our hearts a little because we love this man. Okay, Nip Tuck is probably our favorite show ever.
Such a great show.
And he played Christian Troy, as we all know.
Such a strong name. Christian Troy.
Right?
Yeah.
I wanted to name my son Christian after I watched this show. I don't even know why I'm talking like that. But yes, Julian McMahon as Dr. Doom.
And so we can put aside our bias. I mean...
I can't, but go ahead, Tony.
What do you mean you can't?
He was cool, dude. I don't even care.
All right. As much as I love
it was the movie that was bad, not him.
As much as I love the character of Christian Troy and Nip Tuck and, what's his name? Julian McMahon?
Julian McMahon, yeah.
Okay. A lot of people felt like he did not really do Dr. Doom right in terms of, the writing, the script was bad. The way he performed it, he's a television actor, and you can definitely tell that he's a television actor, the way he portrayed Doom. I mean, why is he on our list if we both like him?
I don't know, man. He just has that really likable quality.
I think it's because the movie failed as a whole.
Yeah. But you know what? You did have some successes in the film because you looked at Captain Steve Rogers. You looked at, what's his name? Chris Evans, and you were just like, dude, that's totally Johnny Storm. The guy totally
he played
nailed
an
it.
excellent Human Torch.
Yeah.
Just a lot of people weren't happy with Doom. They just weren't happy with
the character of Doom is just so big, like he's such a presence.
Yeah.
And yeah, if I have to look at this objectively, he didn't deliver.
No.
He didn't.
He just didn't.
But I can't look at this objectively because I love the man.
You know who would have made an awesome Doom?
Who?
What's his face? Magneto. What's his name?
Michael Fassbender.
Yes,
Michael Fassbender. I love Michael Fassbender.
Michael Fassbender would have made an excellent Doctor Doom.
The Fast Man is just amazing at anything he does. But yes, I could totally see him as Doom.
Who?
Michael Fassbender.
Oh yeah. But I mean, Doctor Doom in terms of his power set and everything. The way he was like transforming and he had that one little scar on his face.
Yeah.
It was very, I don't want to.
But can you blame the man for it? I think you just blame everything else.
The way he delivered the lines wasn't the best either.
Yeah, it was kind of cheeseball.
Yeah. So Doctor Doom is going to be.
You still hold a place in our hearts, dude. You're on this list, but you're still in our hearts.
Christian Troy, but Doctor Doom is what number are we on? 8?
8.
Number 7.
All right, guys. So if you couldn't tell by that clip, our number 7 worst is Galactus, who appeared solely as like a huge thundercloud in
storm cloud.
Yeah, and Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer.
No, wait, but they actually tried a little bit. They made the shape of the cloud into like his helmet shape.
Yeah.
If you looked really, really closely.
Stupid.
Oh my god!
This is like the biggest letdown ever.
I can't.
But you really can't. I mean,
stop trying to talk when I'm talking. We're talking at the same time. People are gonna be like, "Shut up!"
Okay, go ahead.
To one of us, which is probably me.
Go ahead.
But yeah, this is just so disappointing. Like we got Silver Surfer, and in the second movie, and Silver Surfer I thought was a very cool interpretation of Surfer. Like it was pretty close to the comics. But I mean. Would I rather have seen like a huge, gigantic being walk around a city? Yes, I would. The answer is yes. I would have wanted anything over this stupid storm cloud. And they pulled the same thing with Green Lantern in the 2011 Ryan Reynolds movie, where they had Parallax as another like cloud entity type thing. And you know
what? If you're gonna tackle a villain like Galactus, you have to at least try. I feel like they just didn't try. Like, he is just bigger than big. You know that's how he is. But the fact that they just made him into a cloud and we're just like, yeah, okay, that's Galactus. I was like, dude, you didn't even give us anything.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he was meant to be like an ominous presence that was looming upon the world.
Yeah, but it didn't feel like that to the audience.
No.
We're just like, who's in there? I don't know. But then you saw the shape of his
When I saw the shape of his helmet,
I was just like, oh, okay.
I was like, God, really?
Yeah. I thought the Silver Surfer was cool.
Yeah,
I thought, those special effects were awesome.
I mean, if I put myself in Fox's shoes, like, I guess the character and the character design of Galactus might, it's hard to pull off because his helmet
is hard to pull off, but there's a way to do it.
His helmet is a little goofy and his colors are purple and blue, I think. Yeah, purple and bluish.
You know what? With the right people behind it, you can make that badass. Right? Am I right?
Yeah. What do you mean, right people behind it?
Yeah, with the
if Marvel had it.
Yeah, think about how badass they can make it. I mean, look at how they made Loki's helmet. You know, like look how they make.
And you know where they go after Thanos?
Galactus. Yeah.
So let's cross our fingers.
So we're excited to see. They can use Galactus, right? Do you think maybe it
absolutely not? They can't use Galactus.
But why? He's
because they're Fox's character.
Yeah, I know, but he's such like he's in so many things, you know.
Sorry, he's under the properties of Fantastic Four universe, and the Fantastic Four is owned by Fox.
And you know that with these new upcoming Fantastic Four films, we are never going to see Galactus ever.
But we do have the Infinity War all the way in 2019. So who knows what happens in 5 years?
Just give him back.
We might get him back to our side. So anyway,
number 7, Galactus. Sorry, bud.
Number 6.
Some people call me a terrorist. I consider myself a teacher. Lesson number 1. Heroes. There is no such thing. You don't know who I am. Never see me coming.
What are you, decoy? You're a double, right?
Well, I mean, not unstudied. No, absolutely not. Don't hurt the face. I'm an actor. Just a role. The Mandarin. See, it's not real.
Now, if you guys listen to our Iron Man 3 review, you know exactly why this character is on this list. And that is the Mandarin from Iron Man 3. Tony, what do you think?
What do I think? I think he deserves to be... What number is he? 7? 6?
He's 6.
Okay. He deserves to be on this list because, you know, it's another character that I guess Marvel kind of messed up in terms of, you know, in Iron Man's universe, the Mandarin is a huge deal. A Mandarin is Iron Man's primary, you know, most recognized villain. And the stupid twist that they gave us sucks.
That's what I'm saying with like Deadpool. It's just like you're good halfway through the movie, something happens, and then it just completely messes up the character for you.
Not to mention, in all of the trailers leading up to Iron Man 3, the Mandarin's promos, like the voiceovers that Ben Kingsley was doing,
they were super awesome, dude.
They were super ominous, and they were super threatening.
The first half of the movie, Ben Kingsley nails it. Like, he absolutely nails it. He's like, the way he is, because, you know, we see him in the movie just as a man. You know, they didn't really want to do like the rings or any of the magic that goes along with it. But as a man, he's terrifying because you know how much power he has. And then towards the end, they make him this big doofy actor, and it's like, dude, what the hell? And then
I thought Kingsley was great too as a casting choice.
Then as you know, an added insult, you have the guy with the extremist virus be like, "I am the Mandarin." I'm like, no, you're not, dude. Sit down. You're not the Mandarin.
Yeah, what's his name? Guy Pearce or something like that. Guy Pearce. Yeah. This is just so disappointing because it was a character that had so much promise in the first half of the movie, and then you start to see a set on Iron Man. You're like, wait a second, please don't do this.
Yeah, I know.
Please don't be not the Mandarin.
And he's like, he comes out of the bathroom and then he like goes into the sheets and he's like laughing about farting in between the sheets with the ladies, and I'm just like, dude.
Oh man.
Oh,
just
Ben
one of the
Kingsley.
reasons that
Ben Kingsley, it wasn't your fault. It was not your fault this happened.
Just one of the reasons that made Iron Man 3 such a piece of shit.
So,
and Karina thought this movie was watchable, right?
I thought it was watchable, yeah.
Go ahead and check out our Iron Man 3 episode if you want to find out how much I hate this movie, because I am so negative on that podcast.
Yeah.
I think it's one of my most...
Well, I mean, this whole reveal really, really messed it up for me, but... It's still mildly entertaining, not terrible, but that's what we think. Sorry, Ben Kingsley.
Number 5.
Any more great ideas? Why don't you strip down and have 100 people stare at you?
Soup. I'm gonna need therapy.
All right. I'm sorry, Jessica Alba, but our next character is Sue Storm from the Fantastic Four. You know what? Jessica Alba, to me, she's okay. Like, she's really nice to look at, but I just find something so phony about her acting. You know? Like, I don't believe that you're in love with Reed. I don't believe that you care about this person. Like, I don't believe you're a human being sometimes. Everything is just so plastic and contrived. I don't know. That's just me.
She's so hot.
Tony thinks that if you're hot, you can like do anything.
She doesn't have to be a good actress. She's so hot.
She is, and she's gorgeous. She has like the blonde hair and the blue eyes.
Okay, the blue contacts that they put on her was kind of weird.
Well, yeah, because it made her look like it made her look fake. It made her look even faker.
And the blonde hair, she's not a blonde. Come on. And I didn't really like her interactions with her brother, Johnny Storm. Like, they just seem...
Did you believe that they were brother and sister?
It seemed forced to me.
Yeah,
like
not on Johnny Storm's part. He was awesome.
Yeah, Johnny's, can't say enough about Chris Evans.
Yeah, he's amazing in anything he does.
How he was able to make us all forget that he was Johnny by,
And, even though he was probably the best things about those movies.
He was.
Yeah.
Like, he was awesome in them.
He was the only redeeming quality to some of them.
I don't know, like, we're brother and sister, like...
We don't act like that. I mean...
What do you mean act like that?
I don't know, like, she's just so... I just don't believe her in anything she says. She holds no credibility as a scientist, as a woman, as a superhero.
Yeah, and then I didn't feel any chemistry, definitely, between Sue Storm and Reed Richards.
Yeah, no, zero.
What was his name? Ian Gruffin or something like that? The person who played Mr. Fantastic?
He was the guy from Titanic. That's the only thing I remember him from.
Is he the one that shoots himself?
About.
No, he's not the one who shoots himself.
No, he's the one at the end of the movie where he's trying to get everybody in the same
He was
boats.
in King Arthur. He was not Arthur, but he was the other dude.
Yeah, Titanic.
No, King Arthur.
I've never seen King Arthur. But yes, anyways, Sue Storm. Sorry, Jessica Alba, but you would definitely belong on this list.
Number 4.
The only thing standing between you and the rider is me. And he's scraping at the door! Scraping at the door! All right, if you don't tell me what I want to know, I'm gonna let him out.
So number 4, Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider. And...
First of all, these movies are just fucking terrible.
Wow, atrocities these movies are.
Oh, man, dude.
Ghost Rider 1, and I can't even believe they went along with the sequel. Ghost Rider...
what, is this isn't Sony, is it?
This is Paramount,
Are you serious?
I don't know 100%.
Paramount?
I know that that Marvel owns it now.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel owns Daredevil. They own all the Marvel Knights. They own Ghost Rider.
Okay, because this, I don't know how many people that this script had to go to get
The first movie made money though. That's why they made a second one. The Spirit of Vengeance was the second one.
Yeah.
Which I believe Blackheart should have been on this list somewhere, but he's not. Wes Bentley as Blackheart, which was a complete joke in terms of like characterization on screen, or it was just a guy with like a bunch of smoke around him, ominous black smoke, which we're supposed to. It just pisses me off because Blackheart is such a really cool design in terms of what he looks like. They could have did a lot with him. But anyway, back to Nick Cage.
But you know what, too? Ghost Rider 2, it is a hard character to bring on screen because
I think
the ridiculousness of it, you know? But that's why we love him. But Nick Cage is also ridiculous, too, you know? But they just did not mesh. Nick Cage is too... I don't know. He's crazy Nick Cage. You know what I mean? But he's an amazing actor. You go back and you watch Con Air, you watch Face Off.
Okay, those are movies that he's supposed to be in. He's not supposed to play Johnny Cage. I mean, not Johnny
Blaze.
Johnny Blaze. You know, he was just being Nick Cage the whole time.
Yeah.
Like he was.
And this was at the height of like the whole like internet. Do you remember? Like he's huge on the internet.
Yeah.
People are always talking about how crazy Nick Cage is. And I think this was at the height of that. So
he had that weird hairpiece in this movie too. Remember that hair?
Yeah, what was up with that?
It was terrible.
Oh my god.
And all of his lines like were super corny. He was just
the corniest.
No personality in this Johnny Blaze. Like he was just so dull. Then he had Eva Mendes to bounce off, which she's hot. Okay, she's very hot actually. But they had
How are we supposed to believe that this guy, you know, she's into him?
Yeah, it was just, this movie was terrible, and Nick Cage should never ever be a superhero movie again.
But he was in Kick-Ass as a Big Daddy, and I liked him in that.
He was also, you know, John Schnepp is actually making a documentary on Superman. Was it? It's called, I forget what it is, but they actually casted Nick Cage as Superman, and they were going to greenlight a movie.
What year was this?
This was a long time.
Oh, okay.
I think it was like the Death of Superman Lives or something like that. I forget the title, but I'll look it up after this. But anyway, yeah, so he was actually going to be Superman at one point.
I cannot even imagine the disaster that would have
There's a picture of him. I'll show you after we're done with the podcast. There's a picture of him in the Superman suit, like all ready to go.
Oh my god.
That would have been crazy. Even though a lot of people, you know, it would be interesting to see that movie nowadays, but...
I don't know.
Anyway.
Every time I think of Nicolas Cage, I always think of when he says, "I'm going to steal the Declaration of Independence."
What movie is that?
It's the National Treasure.
Oh, I always think of him in Face Off. Okay, that was a great movie.
He was good in Face Off.
John Travolta, Nicolas Cage, one of the best movies ever. Face Off.
Yeah, I fucking love. Me and Tony love that movie, especially when John Travolta tries to get out of the prison.
And even to this day, when I when I'm checking TV Guide and I see Face Off, I'm like, oh man, I always get disappointed because it's that show with the what's it called?
Oh wait, hold up.
Makeup appliances.
You freaking love that show.
Okay, but
don't even start. You love that show.
I'm still disappointed that it's not Face Off the movie. It's this other show.
When the title is highlighted in purple, it's a movie. When it's highlighted in blue, it's a show.
Okay, anyway. But so, do anything else to say about Mr. Nicolas Cage?
Well, you know what, Nicolas Cage, you come in at number 4. It is okay. All right, it's not. It's kind of your fault.
No, this is kind of his fault. Just because, you know, it's the way he acted. It wasn't. I mean, it's a script. It's a combination between the script and him.
Yeah, because the movie was terrible to begin with. You know, I mean, they picked the wrong guy.
Number 2 should have not even been made. So, all right, Nick Cage, you're number 4.
Number 3.
Is everybody paying attention? I will help you solve the greatest riddle of all, the mother of all riddles. Who is Batman?
You have broken into our hideout. You have violated the sanctity of our lair. For this, we should crush your bones into powder. However, you pose a most interesting proposition. Therefore, heads, we accept, and tails, we blow your damn head off.
All right, everyone. Chill.
All right, so from this video clip, you know what? There was just too many of these guys that we had to just lump them all together at the number 3 spot.
Yeah, if we would have had these guys individually, then they probably would have took up the whole countdown. So
we have, first, let's start off with Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face. Oh, man, dude.
Such a disaster.
You know what? If they just let Tommy Lee Jones, like, do this Tommy Lee Jones's way, it probably would have been amazing.
Did.
No, they didn't.
That's exactly what they did.
No, they didn't.
He was just acting like some crazy man the whole time.
No, Tommy Lee Jones would have never made those creative choices with the role. I don't think so. I think they should have had him put more input into what he envisioned. Because he's a great actor, but this, oh man, this.
Yeah, I don't know whose decision was to make Two-Face some blubbering idiot.
It's fucking Schumacher's decision.
Was it?
How many villains has he put in movies, and how many of them are shit?
This wasn't Schumacher.
He is the common denominator in all of this.
Yeah.
He is. I mean, and then you have Jim Carrey, who's literally just playing Jim Carrey.
We're not done with Two-Face.
Okay, well then, go.
Harvey Dent, Tommy Lee Jones, barely got any screen time, first of all. He had to share the movie with Jim Carrey, the Riddler, and there was not one memorable scene of Two-Face in this movie, besides him at the very end with the coins. But still, just terrible acting, terrible scripts.
Because Two-Face and Riddler are huge villains.
You can make a whole movie based on the Two-Face character and his storyline.
Yeah.
I mean, just watch Batman the Animated Series, Two-Face Part 1 and Two-Face Part 2. The way that they told that story is beautiful.
Like, I know that these movies were supposed to be fun and they were supposed to be comic booky and kind of ridiculous, but I think that if they had taken some sort of page out of the Batman TAS Harvey Dent that we saw, this character would have been way more successful.
If Paul Dini and Bruce Timm were in charge of making movies,
what do you think they felt like when they saw that?
They must have been embarrassed to be involved in Batman.
And they made him that really awful shade of purple.
Yeah, I mean, of course they couldn't make him blue like in the animated series, which I thought would have been pretty cool.
Why not?
I don't know. That's not real skin color.
So is neither is purple.
You're right.
Jeez.
I don't know. Maybe the acid could have turned in a different color. I don't know. But yeah, so Tommy Lee Jones is one. All right, move on to the next one.
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey as Jim Carrey. Not even...
Jim Carrey as Jim Carrey in tight green spandex
with little question marks on them.
And with Jim Carrey, you get what you get. That's who he is.
Yeah, I mean, he had red hair and a domino mask, but he wasn't the Riddler.
It was kind of like Ace Ventura playing the Riddler. He's just walking around, talking out his butt or something.
And let's just mention that in the second half of this movie where he I forgot what happens to him, but he looks really disgusting. Remember?
Yeah,
he gets
towards
zapped
the end,
by something.
He starts looking like he's 1,000 years old.
Yeah, it's really weird costume change. Really, just this movie's terrible, especially because these two were in the same movie as villains, and they bounced off each other. They weren't even funny. Riddler and Two-Face conversations, they're supposed to be funny, but
yeah, there's nothing that I liked about it.
Oh man,
their interactions didn't make me smile. I was just this is very odd. Did not like it. Now let's get to probably the biggest upset.
Who?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Everybody,
as Mr. Freeze.
Chill. That dude.
Once again, if they even bothered to watch Batman TAS, they had such a beautiful, very sad, poignant episode.
They did adapt or try to adapt the storyline about Victor Freeze's wife.
The fact that they tried and this is what they got is terrifying to me.
Yeah.
Where did you go so wrong?
And that actually is an Emmy award-winning cartoon episode by Paul Dini. And, he must have been rolling around. I mean, I don't want to say rolling around in his grave because he's not dead yet. But he must have been oh, man, what are they doing? But anyway, yeah, so many ice puns. Everybody chill. It's going to be a cold... I don't know. I don't even know what they are. But he just makes so many corny ice jokes and,
yeah,
he was his character design was his skin was painted silver.
Yeah, I don't know about that. We did get those really few and far between moments where we saw what was driving him, and it was his wife, which is close to his story based on the TAS version. but those moments were totally overshadowed by his ridiculousness, by his stupid puns, by
Arnold Schwarzenegger was definitely not the right person to make Mr. Freeze.
No.
Definitely, like, what movies was he in before this? He
Terminator.
was in Kindergarten Cop. No, I'm talking about more the joke movies like Kindergarten Cop.
It's not a tumor.
Twins with Danny DeVito.
Hey, that was a good movie.
Speaking of Danny DeVito, let's give him an honorable mention in this category as the Penguin in Batman Returns.
I like Danny DeVito.
I didn't like his interpretation of the Penguin. I didn't like his.
I mean, it's a very literal interpretation.
That kind of penguin where he's just like really gross and like he looks like a penguin and he's like He's like got weird black slime coming out of his mouth.
I kind of liked him.
He was like, I like the Penguin now in Gotham compared to Danny DeVito's. I mean, you can't compare them. I understand because Burton's universe was a universe in its own.
Yeah.
And the Penguin that they're doing right now in Gotham is totally different, and it's like apples to oranges.
It is.
But I just didn't like the Penguin in Batman Returns. So who else?
Are you kidding me? He had like a penguin boat that he rode in the sewers. That's awesome.
What about we had to move on to Bane? Because
oh yeah, Tony really didn't like Bane either.
I didn't like Bane.
You know what? I think aesthetically he looked good, but the fact that he didn't speak at all and he was just like, "Arr."
He was a buffoon. He was a Neanderthal.
Yeah.
He couldn't say anything besides like monkey work, and he would just say like he was Poison Ivy's henchman.
Like he was just like a caveman who didn't understand language.
Yeah, I mean, terrible.
I did like his aesthetic though.
I liked how he became Bane. Like it was true to the comics. It was some scrawny guy given the you know.
And that's like what Tony's biggest gripe about the Nolanverse was, is that Bane didn't have his luchador mask and that he did not.
That wasn't my biggest gripe.
And that he did not have Venom. That's what like the two things.
And the fact that he was severely underpowered. He got taken out by Catwoman and Batman.
I know, but I'm just saying that's one of the reasons
he played second fiddle to Talia al Ghul. He wasn't even the villain in the movie.
Yeah, that was stupid.
There was many reasons why I did not like the Nolan movies, but let's get into that in a different podcast.
All right, so that's number 3, Schumacher and everything that he did.
Do we have all the villains, or is there one more that we're missing?
I think that's it.
Poison Ivy, I like Poison Ivy. That's why she's not on this list.
Yeah, Tony thought she was sexy.
She was so hot.
She stayed off this list for that reason. Yeah. No, I liked Uma Thurman too. She was cool.
Yeah.
She played a really good Pamela, right?
Pamela Isley.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Hey, Parker.
My God, Eddie.
Ooh, my spider sense is tingling. If you know what I'm talking about.
All right, we're getting down to our final 2. Next one on our list comes in at number 2, and that is Eddie Brock, played by
Topher Grace.
I was gonna say Gopher Trace. What the hell's wrong with me?
That happens to me sometimes.
It's played by Topher Grace in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
Now this was just a combination of terrible movie, terrible acting. Kind of like a paired with terrible dialogue and terrible ideas coming from every side.
And trying to jam like 5 villains into one movie.
Yeah, like did we really need Sandman? Like did we really need
The reason why this is so high up on our list is because the character of Venom. Venom is a huge character in the Marvel universe. And especially in Spider-Man's universe. Venom is number 1. Venom is he's kind of like who the Joker is to Batman. Pretty much, yeah. And then you even have the angles where Spider-Man, you know, he gets the black suit, and it all derives from the Venom storyline. So this is a character that we wanted to see, you know, portrayed right on screen. And what we got was ridiculous. What we got was a joke. What we got was an alternate version of Eddie Brock that's supposed to be like Peter Parker's doppelganger, and that's why they chose a skinnier Topher Grace when they should have went with, you know, the classic bulky meathead Eddie Brock. Okay, they should have went.
Yeah, that's who I wanted to see. Honestly,
that's who everybody wanted to see.
I feel sort of shafted, you know, like they kind of just like gave us that and was just like, here you go, fuck yourselves,
and they even killed him off in the end, which is
like
so
what the hell?
Stupid.
Oh my god.
All right, so let's talk about a little bit how, you know, Venom looked when we actually got like the 15 seconds of Venom in the movie.
That's another thing. Like him visually, it like made me so happy to see on screen. You know, like when we didn't have to deal with like Topher Grace and we had Venom in like full getup. But then those moments where sort of like the mask peeled back and you had Topher Grace's face and was just like, hey, reminding us that he's the guy playing Venom, took me out of it completely.
Yeah, I mean, he looked a lot like Alien. It looked like Alien more than it did Venom.
Yeah.
And then also, yeah, you would want to see Venom on screen, and then you see like Karina said, the mask peels back and you see Topher looks super weird with this like.
And his like teeth are rotted for some reason.
Symbiote around his face, and it just looks so stupid.
And he's trying to be like funny and quirky.
Yes,
like, hey.
He's making corny ass jokes.
Oh, it was so like contrary to like the thing that's surrounding him and the power that he's getting.
And they didn't set up they didn't set up the character right in terms of him wanting to hate Peter. Like, he hates Peter because he got him fired. Yeah, I understand that it happened in the comic books, but they could have made it rooted in a deeper way.
Spider-Man 3 was just absolutely ridiculous.
But like I said, they had way too many villains in that movie. They had Sandman, they had Goblin, they had everybody.
They had emo, Tobey Maguire.
They had, jazz flute dancing Anchorman-esque Tobey Maguire with his hair parted to the side. Did he even have eyeliner on in that movie?
I think he did. It was just the worst movie ever. That's why when we talk about Spider-Man, I only mention the first one and the second one because it hurts my heart to mention the third one.
Yeah, so I definitely Topher Grace Venom comes in at number 2.
Number 1.
You boys thought you could come in here and steal all these beautiful things. What a perfect idea.
Okay, so like this spot could go to anybody else. This spot was made for Halle Berry and her portrayal of Catwoman.
Patience.
Oh my god. Not enough can be said about this role in this movie and just how terrible everything in it is.
This movie literally set comic book movies back 5 to 10 years, because after this movie happened, DC didn't want to touch another property for a while.
Yeah, no,
it was so scared.
Apparently, this movie cost $100 million to make, and it made 40. So this movie took a $60 million loss. Think about how much money that is, dude. Yeah. Ridiculous. And taking just, 15 minutes to watch it, you will understand why immediately. First of all, we have Halle Berry, who's over dramatic, who is completely ridiculous in this role. I think
she's overrated, to be honest.
She's a good actor. She was in Monsters Ball. She was in a couple other things. I can't really think of one right now.
Bond movie.
That wasn't really like a good role. But the girl can act. She's got acting chops. But this movie, I think that when they said, hey, Halle Berry, you're going to play Catwoman, she was like, meow.
Ooh, I get to wear a sexy outfit.
Yeah, she took
and
the cat.
Use a whip.
She took the cat part way too literally.
There's that scene where she's looking at the fish tank and she's like moving her head really fast.
Yeah, so she's like in a restaurant and there's like a fish tank behind her and she's like looking at him, like her glances are like darting at the fish, like she's super hungry. And there's also a scene where she's eating sushi and she's like eating it like a cat.
Oh my.
I was like, dude, I don't know if they told her to take let the creative liberties with that and be like, I'll act a cat like Halle Berry. But Jesus Christ, the fight scenes are terrible.
Fight scenes are a joke.
Oh my god. If you want to laugh, do yourself a favor, go onto YouTube and type in Catwoman fight scenes. They are so funny to watch.
Yeah.
The fact that this movie made any money at all is ridiculous.
It did. Oh, you mean like the $40 million that it made?
Yeah, like I can't believe people actually went to the theater and saw that. You know what? Take one look at the trailer and be like, hey, you know what? That's not my Catwoman. That's not Selena Kyle. I'm not interested.
Her name wasn't even Selena Kyle. It was like Patience something, which is they flipped the whole story. No mention of Gotham, no mention of Batman, nothing at all. It was just so weird. It was like a cosmetic movie about beauty, movie about ancient cats.
It took place in no universe that we've ever seen. It took place in, I don't know, like a dimension where people don't know how to act. It was terrible, dude.
Yeah,
it was so terrible.
Michelle Pfeiffer, if you were to compare them, she is a million times more better.
Oh, Michelle Pfeiffer, dude. She was freaking awesome. She was everything.
So, I mean...
And even, like, Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway?
as Catwoman.
Oh,
she was amazing
compared to Halle Berry.
Compared to Halle Berry, she's like Catwoman. God compared to Halle Berry. I hope Halle Berry watched The Dark Knight The Dark Knight Rises and was like, dude, what did I do? Why did I let them convince me to do that?
Yeah, it's just really pathetic, really sad. It just, I mean, like I said,
and then like sometimes she would talk and she would add like the like she would roll her R's as if she was purring
because she purrs. She's like, a cat.
What are you doing?
She drinks milk. She drinks cream in the movie at a bar.
Oh yeah, and then there's like one scene where she goes up to the bar and she's like, I want to have like I think she says like I don't know, some type of booze that has milk in it. And then she's like, but I don't want this, minus this, minus this. And then the bartender's like, that's just cream. And she's like, I know.
So funny.
Like she drinks the cream. Get it? Because she's a cat. Heyo.
Oh man. So this definitely deserves to be our number one worst.
Wait. Can we just talk about her ears? Her cowl? Like, what the hell was that?
It's an S&M mask.
It was so stupid. Like,
it's a Halloween mask.
I don't know what they were doing, but I mean, you think back to Michelle Pfeiffer and the way she like sewed her costume together,
and you can see the stitches,
the way the stitches and the costume, laid on her body like perfectly, and like her, because Michelle Pfeiffer just looks like a crazy-eyed cat lady.
Speaking of Michelle Pfeiffer, that girl who plays Catwoman in Gotham looks exactly like Michelle Pfeiffer, doesn't she?
The little girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, she does.
I forgot the actress's name, but yeah, I like her character so far. But anyway, that's besides the point. Go ahead, continue with what you were saying.
Yeah, it's just, I bet you she's everyone's number one on this sort of top 10 list.
And like I said, I mean, she's number one because she quite literally set comic book movies back 5 years. So... yeah. This was just a terrible, terrible movie with a terrible casting choice, a terrible script, all of it combined.
Yeah, it wasn't just her fault. It was not just you, Halle Berry, but a lot of it had to do with you. But I mean, even Sharon Stone was terrible in it. Benjamin Bratt was bad in it, and he didn't even do anything.
Yeah. So, Halle Berry, you are our number one.
So I hope you guys enjoyed our countdown, and if you have any comments about it, go over to epicomicast.com and type in the forums. We'd love to hear what you guys thought. But before we go, we do have a few honorable mentions that we want to get to, and these are kind of like supporting characters that we thought were super dumb. And this might anger a few of you, but first on my list is actually Pa Kent from Man of Steel. Now, if you've listened to our Man of Steel podcast, you know exactly how we feel about this character.
Yeah, me and her both shitted on this movie.
One thing I hated about him, do we even have to go over? Because he's just terrible.
Yeah.
He's terrible. He's not the Pa Kent that we know. He's not the Jonathan Kent that we know.
Okay, we get that Snyder was supposed to, trying to create his own universe, but this universe sucks.
Yeah, we did not like Man of Steel whatsoever. Like, so instead of Clark saving you, you're just going to walk into a tornado to get a dog. Like, I understand people's connection to their pets. Yes, I understand that. But not only could Henry Cavill could have gone into the tornado, grabbed you and the dog, be sucked up, and then be dropped somewhere, miraculously survived, and have everything be, dandy at the end. But you just, like, you turn back around to him, and you're just like, don't come after me.
Okay, let's not get into it too much.
I have to.
Let's move on to
because I feel like people are going to be like, dude.
No, if they want to know, then they can check out the Man of Steel episode.
No, just listen to it. Trust me, it's terrible. Next one, Carol Ferris from Green Lantern.
Blake Lively.
A lot of things happen in Green Lantern that I know that they're not proud of, but Carol Ferris was terrible. She was the worst thing about the movie, and you had Peter Sarsgaard as like a crazy villain that nobody understood.
Yeah, and Ryan Reynolds is not on this list because it's not his fault.
It's not his fault. No, it's not your fault.
But it was Blake Lively's fault because
Ryan Reynolds is on this list, by the way.
She is?
Yeah, Deadpool. Well, but yeah, count. Carol Ferris, she was so confusing. She's like, "You're so stupid. I hate you." But she's like showing up at his house or
you want to get back together?
Yeah, at his apartment the other day, and she's like, "Oh, Hal, you're so funny." I was like, "Dude, you just said that he's like immature and he's never gonna grow up, and it doesn't make sense." She's so dumb. And then at one point, she's like in this floating bubble, and then we have no idea why, and she's just like, help me.
All right, move on. Next person. April O'Neil, right?
April O'Neil from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Megan Fox isn't believable as a human being. I think that's all I have to say.
Yeah, check out our Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles podcast episode if you want to find out more about that. But also, what was I going to say? Let's mention the the Mario was it called Super Mario Brothers movie?
Oh my god, it was like the most worst
interpretation of a video game ever.
Oh man, it was the Super Mario Bros. Movie where you have John Leguizamo as Luigi, and then you had these horrendous Goombas that had like the small.
They were hilarious, actually. They had
were
these
so
huge ass shoulders and a small head. It looked funny. And then
who
Bowser,
we wanted to talk about was Bowser or like King.
Yeah, he's the character we want to talk about, just because how.
Like, what the fuck? That's who you got? Like that's what you did with Bowser?
And also, I don't want to call it a theory, but I told Karina that how we're having this whole superhero comic book craze right now. I think video game movies are going to become a thing in the future in terms of people wanting to take on the challenge of creating this epic
and not
video
like
game movie,
and not like the super ridiculous campy shit that you got with like Jean-Claude Van Damme in Street Fighter, or you got with a Doom or stuff like that.
No,
I think that somebody.
How about like a Legend of Zelda epic trilogy?
Like the material that is given to you in these sort of movies, like The Legend of Zelda, like even Mario, if they
God
really
of
wanted
War.
to do it. Yeah. That
Call of
kind
Duty.
of material taken on in the right hands, prepare a script. Like you don't really need to tell, a whole story in a movie. You can make it a trilogy. You can make it, you can start making your own cinematic universe based on these legendary
I feel
tales.
that, people are going to look back at this Mario Brothers and be like, you know what? Now that with all the technology we have, I can do that better. And I think that video game movies are going to be a thing in the future. And
can you imagine seeing Link and Ganondorf on screen? Oh my god, that would be so freaking cool. And you know what? Because of their built-in fan bases, those tickets will fucking fly off the shelves. People will be there standing in line midnight premieres.
Oh yeah,
I will be one of them.
And imagine a crossover Super Smash Brothers movie. No, I'm just kidding. That's too much.
That would be crazy. I don't even know what story they would have to make up.
All right. So anyway, so let's kind of sign off here. So go ahead and check us out at epiccomicast.com. That's where we have everything. We have our archive podcast. We've got YouTube content, our donation thingy. Everything's there. Also, we're on social media everywhere. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and it's all at Epic Comic Cast. What else? Oh, our sponsors, pointofgeeks.com, project-nerd.com, and then also thegeekspeakshow.com. Karina, you have anything else to say?
Nope, that's about it.
All right, sign us off.
All right, so as always, I'm Karina Michelle.
And I'm TC.
And have a great day.